Hey, you are now tuned in to Restoration to the Second Powers podcast, where we're living life with no walls. Today, you will be hearing the teachings of our spiritual guide, Regina L. Stillman. If you'd like to learn more about the fellowship, check out our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/restoration2. Also, if you'd like to make a donation, go to givelify.com and look for us at Restoration 2 or Cash App us at $R2Power. Now, everybody, throw your twos up and let's get lifted. Ho!
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Let's Get Lifted. Yes, this is your Soulful Sunday, and I'm so glad that everybody is here. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you're here with me on this afternoon. Now, listen, I want to tell you, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing in it, and I don't know about you, but I'm glad. I am glad about it. I just want to say good afternoon to everybody that's in here. Sister May Solomon, I love you, sis. You know I love you. I appreciate you for being in the Lion's Den on today. I want to appreciate Nathan the Gift. I see you, Nathan Lamont. I see you in there. And yes, sir, you spoke that correctly. You are the gift. I want to appreciate DJ Onyx Heart. That's my brother. I love you, man. I love you. I love you. I mean, mad love. I appreciate you. Come on in the room. Shelly Thunder. You know, now I normally on Sunday, I don't do that, but I just can't help it because the prophetess is in the house. Anytime she comes in the room, I got to do it, y'all. You know I got to do it. And listen. Up above my head, I hear thunder in the air. There must be a Shelly Thunder somewhere, sis. You know I love you, and that prophetic that is on you, it's just on you. You can't help it. It's just there. I love you, and I appreciate you for coming in the room. I am so glad. One reason I want you all to check this brother out. He is a phenomenal streamer, and he blesses the whole earth with his gift on every day. If you come in, the gospel takeover, and then he comes in some afternoons. Please follow him. I see you down there cracking up. You know, Shelly, you already know. Kapow, kapow, kapow. One reason is in the room today. I want you all to follow this brother. He is a phenomenal man of God. He's anointed. He's gifted. He's talented. He's got a heart of love. That's what I know about him. Any place I see love, I know God is in it. That's all I can say about it. Any place I see God, I know God is in it. And this man has a heart full of love for people. You all, I mentioned to you the other day that he was a blessing with some of the emotes that you see out there made by none other than One Reason. And I want you to know I appreciate you, brother. Listen, I want to say good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the stream. Come on, BTD Mom. I'm so glad that you're here. You are a blessing. Main Man 68, that is our associate pastor with the ministry. I thank you for being in here on today. Truck driver, that's my Mufasa. You are my Mufasa, and come on, because I know you're about to roar. Things are happening. Yes, things are happening. DJ Wild One's Heart, Onyx Heart, I'm sorry. Thank you for being in the stream today. This is our 2:00 session where I actually teach a sermon on this afternoon. So thank you for coming into this setting. I know a lot of times people are coming and they are looking for the comedy and the information that we do Tuesday through Friday in our regular Yes You OQ podcast. And then Sunday tonight at 6:00, I'll be here with my friends. This is designed specifically to just share a word from the scripture, and I want you all to be blessed on today. But thank you so much for coming on in the room. I really, really appreciate you being in the midst on today. I think I've touched on, and of course, always the Rebel Inc. That is my moderator. Y'all give her some mod love. She does such an excellent job making sure that this stream is taken care of. We've had a little troll issue that's tried to pop up, and I mean to tell you, she's been on it. She has really been on it. Oh, come on, Aurora's Eatery. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have to help me out because y'all know I told you I'm getting a little old. I'm getting a little old up in here. So, you know, you have to help me, help the mother out. All that gray hair isn't up there just for nothing. I earned every last gray hair that's up there. Everybody that's in those that are not in my chat, I want to appreciate you. I see several of you out there that are not in the chat. You're always welcome to come in. Today, again, as I said, this particular session is designed for a particular word from the Lord. And so you may not, anybody that knows me, you all know I'm comical in nature. That's just my makeup. That's just the way I am. I'm going to crack, I'm going to laugh and all of that. But I may get a little, today I really think I want to just talk and teach. I'm going to try to stay on the low, but y'all know it's like every time I say I'm going to stay on the low, it just gets all built up like fire. Shut up in my bones. Shut up, Shelly Thunder. Shut up in my bones. I'm going to try to really kind of stay on the low because I want to do a little bit of teaching today because I only do the sermons once a week. And I want to take this time. Come on, One Reason. I see the fire. I want to take this time to really kind of speak into your lives. There is the season that we are in right now. I see you, Shelly Thunder. You done, honey, don't mess with me. Now, don't mess with me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Come on, God happens. God happens up in here every time you turn around. Come on, Mary Patterson. I see you. Let go, let God. That's my 2 tambourines, my MCP 812. Come on in the room. Now, as we're gathering, I appreciate every last one of you. I want to share a word on today. And it may be a little bit out of the ordinary. That's why I'm going to slow the pace down. I'm going to try to really slow the pace down because I want you to really get an idea of what I'm saying. And I want it to be clear in your spirit. Come on, bones, 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 One Reason. Electrified bones, on fire bones. Oh my God, anointed bones. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. I want to get this thought in your spirit today. And as I said, it may be a little bit of a different concept, but I want you to flow with me. Today, I want to talk about the evening and the morning. The evening and the morning. That is the thought for today. The evening and the morning. The scripture that I want to share with you on today, I want you to come with me to Genesis chapter 1, verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning the first day. Now, you all know the King James Version. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. And then if you read it in other versions, it'll say God called the light day and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning one day. So you hear all of those different versions and all of those different translations of what this scripture is saying. And so I want you to come with me in your thoughts today, the evening and the morning. Spiritual thought leader, why are you coming here? Because we keep telling you over and over and over again, it's happening. It's happening. ING. We are the ing crowd, not the in crowd. We're the ing crowd because it's happening. I keep hearing, oh my goodness, the streams this morning were powerful. I was out there with Q, the mixologist, got a chance to go over and get in Church of Funk, Dr. Dady Priest. Oh my goodness, the word that goes on in Dr. Dady's is just off the chains. And she always blesses me every Sunday morning for that personal development. So as we get into this place, yes, the ING, the ing crowd, we are the ing crowd, not the in crowd. I wanted to stop here and address, because this is one thing that I am identifying. I told you on the other day to start looking at challenges instead of saying I had a bad day and why do all these bad things keep happening to me. I want you to see all of those opportunities as tools, TOOLS. I want you to see those as tools, not bad things happening. We looked at the reality when the troll came in that Friday and thought they were going to really mess up the stream, and how the power of God just came in and swept through. We want to look at the reality of not saying, oh my God, something bad happened in my stream. This troll came in and tried to take over my stream. No, it was a tool. That troll was nothing more than a tool. And that tool that was given to us was an opportunity to shift our trajectory. That tool that was given to us through the person of the troll, that tool, good afternoon, Stacy 546. I see you in the room. Come on in, sis. I love you. That tool was given to us, and using the troll as a tool, that trajectory shifted and God happened. That's where I want you to start in this season and time. Some of us have been so inundated with a theology that teaches us bad things are happening, right, wrong. And I told you the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, really what we're dealing with there are the two poles. You got the pole of what we say is positive, the stuff that, and usually we say positive stuff that we like, stuff that feels good, stuff that gets us charged up and happy. We want to call that good, positive. But I want us to understand that evil, and I play with that word evil, EVIL is LIVE backwards. So I use the LIVE backwards, that there are things that come in that are teaching me and showing me that there's a mindset that I have that's backwards. This whole idea, come on, Pastor Blissett, I see you in the room, come on in. That whole idea that I have that wants to gravitate towards, oh, why do all these bad things keep happening to me? Instead of understanding those bad things that you're calling them are actually some opportunities to get tools. Listen, my tool bag is full. I don't know about yours. My tool bag is full. I'm grateful that my tool bag is full, because everything that's come into my tool bag, guess what? I can use it. That troll that came into the stream on Friday, God showed us you can use that. You can either take this as an opportunity to feel some kind of a negative, some kind of a stressful. You can take it for something and make that of a bad thing. Or you can say, look, this is the opportunity that's been given to us to be able to move on to the next trajectory. So yes, I see it, and I'm not moved by it, because at the end of the day, this word is going forth, and we're going to show you how even we come into this place of understanding. I am not moved by what I see. I'm going to move by what I know. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm not moved by what I see. I'm moved by what I know. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm not moved by what I see. I'm moved by what I know. So as we come into this season of happening, things are happening. I wanted to speak this word because there's going to be a time in your life in this happening season where it's going to seem like I hear you, spiritual thought leader, giving word, miracles, signs, and wonders, but we're being challenged. We're being tested. We're being tried on every side. And it almost seems like we've gone into a dark place. Now, this is what I want to deal with here on today. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of theology, and some of you, I don't know if you've already heard some of these concepts before or not, but if you haven't, just jot it down, put it in your memory, chalk it away, ponder it in your heart before you get really excited and disturbed by it. But I want to deal with some concepts. Number one is that from between Genesis 1 and 1, come on, No Sharp, between Genesis 1 and 1 and between Genesis 1 and 2, something happened, something cataclysmic happened. I'm going to encourage you, for those that maybe have just done nothing but a particular Genesis to Revelation NIV version, King James version, or whatever, I'm going to encourage you to go out and invest in what's called a chronological Bible. A chronological Bible. A chronological Bible is one that is set up where the books of the Bible are basically listed in chronological order. The books of the Bible are listed in chronological order. So, or I'm sorry, in topical order, in the regular Bible, but in the chronological, it is in chronological order. Why do I want you to do that? Because so many times I am finding that a lot of times there is a lack of understanding on the part, even when we preach and teach from the scriptures, there's a lack of understanding on a lot of people's part that really, if you don't realize it, Genesis to Revelations is not a chronological order. Genesis is not the first book of the Bible. As a matter of fact, Job is believed to be the oldest script that was found, Job being the oldest book in scripture. The books of the Bible that we're accustomed to are put in topical order. So you have the Pentateuch first, and then you have history, so on and so forth. So I want to just, for some that are not clear on that, I want to deal with that idea that the Bible is not in chronological order. Even some of the things as we start talking about in the book of Genesis. Okay, so if you can embrace that, you understand that Genesis is not the first book of the Bible, even though it is the book that talks about beginnings, which is what Genesis is about. So there's an idea in theology that is indicative that between Genesis 1 and 1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and Genesis 1 and 2, the earth was without form and void, and darkness covered the face of the deep. That there was something cataclysmic that happened between Genesis 1 and 1 and Genesis 1 and 2. So what do some theologians espouse that to be? That's where you'll see some of the book of Revelations in a chronological Bible. And as a matter of fact, in chronological Bible, not only will you have Genesis 1 and 1 that says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. You'll also get St. John 1 and 1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. You'll get Genesis 1 and 1 and St. John 1 and 1 verses 1 through 3 together, because all of that constitutes what happens in the beginning. So yes, the Word was with God, the Word was God, the same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Then we'll get back into the creation story as we tell it, where God begins to create. But again, there's also that identifying that there was a time before the earth was formed and created as we know it. There was a time that heaven, remember, all things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. Heaven existed and predated earth. So if we recognize the idea, and that's where we start talking about Lucifer, you all call him Satan. In the Jewish, they pronounce Satan. So if we understand and identify that Lucifer was in the heavens from the beginning and predating the creation of the earth, there is the theological concept that between Genesis 1 and 1 and Genesis 1 and 2, we go to the book of Revelations where we see there was a war in heaven, and Lucifer was in heaven, and he was a beautiful angel, and really he was music. If you listen, he was beautiful fine gems and and music. And we see that there was this lifting up that Lucifer had. And the Bible says, and he drew 1/3 of the angels away. And because of his pride, he was cast down into the earth. There is that theological concept that between Genesis 1 and 1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and Genesis 1 and 2, the earth was without form and void, that was the casting down of Satan or Lucifer into the earth. That then, for those that really like, well, how do you rectify that with science? Well, then if you can understand where people like, where did the dinosaurs come from? Where did this come from? Where did that come from? Where did all of these other things come from? You can see how you can have had prehistoric, as we would call it, and even Neanderthal, those things that existed. And then there was a devastation by the casting down of Satan into the earth. And then we see, and the earth was without form and void. I hope you were able to follow that train of logic, because I just gave you an overview of that concept in a quick, fast, and dirty highlight. So darkness, now the earth was without form and void after there was a casting down, in the idea and belief that the earth was created in light and habited. Again, I'm gonna go back to that, would take us back to the prehistoric and the Neanderthal, and explain how they existed before we get so much of the knowledge of science that came into existence. Excuse me. So if you can track with that, then we can come to the point where then God began to create out of what was after, and I'm gonna tell you my personal belief, even as I've taken that and expounded upon it, is the Ice Age, when Satan and Lucifer and the 1/3 of the angels were cast down into the earth. If you can imagine them, and I saw Satan fall from heaven as lightning. That's what the Revelator said. I saw Satan fall down as lightning into the earth. To me, that is that whole element of the potential, that trauma that the earth experience is, to me, what would have potentially thrown us into the Ice Age. Now, you don't have to believe what I'm saying, because this is all theory, and even my theory is added to theologians' theories and taking it one step further, because to me, there is no fight between science and the word of God. The two walk together. I don't have a challenge with science or either or. I can fit all of it into the actions and the work of God, and I am not conflicted on that point. So take the Ice Age, and that then we see the ice is plunged, because anytime you take the earth off of its axis, even 1 iota, you're going to change the whole dynamic of the earth's existence. Now, y'all, like I said, some of y'all going to need to chew on that, because that might be something you've heard the first time, and that's okay. You may embrace it, you may not embrace it. I believe, and it makes sense to me. So then I want us to then take to the next step. When we get to Genesis and we begin to look at verse 5, it walks us through. Now we see that darkness covered the face of the earth. Darkness covered the face of the earth. And I've always asked this question theologically for some that might be struggling with it. If God is light, why would God, who is light, create in darkness? If God is light, why would he that is light create in darkness? So at the end of the day, we get to the point where, Brother Tommy, you can be quiet. I need a mod to just go ahead and take care of him, and the others. You all can come in and you can sit and you can listen and you can observe, but my moderators will deal with you accordingly. Now, as we look at the whole idea that there was an element of how the earth got into a state of darkness, we look at how got into a state of darkness, and darkness covered the face of the deep. And again, I'm gonna go back to that point. Why would he that is light create in darkness? So the belief that there is a difference between what God created, the heaven and the earth, Genesis 1 and 1, Genesis 1 and 2, something cataclysmic happened. So you can chew on that. Now, I just want to go to the point now. We really begin to talk about restoration of the earth. Not the creation of the earth, but the recreation of the earth. We come to the restoration of the earth and we deal with that. So at the end of the day, as we get into the place of what actually happened to create. That's what I led you up to. Now that we look at, let's get in restoration and or recreation. That's where we start picking up Genesis chapter 1 verse 5. And God called the light day and he called the darkness night, because God then creates and puts in the heavens a great light to rule the day and a lesser light to rule the night. The day light he called the light of the day he called the sun, and the light of the night he called the moon. So now he begins to separate, and as he's recreating, and I want you to embrace this idea that we're talking about a restoration and a recreating here in Genesis 1 and 5. Once again, we're talking about a restoration and a recreating that's going on in Genesis 1 and 5. So now he calls the light day and he calls the darkness night. And that is the first day of the restored, recreated earth. So let's go from here. This is what I want us to begin to understand. What God is doing and what's happening right now, God is taking us through the restoration of the earth. God is taking us to the restoration. I keep talking about and always talk about Romans chapter 8. All creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons and daughters of God. That's in Romans chapter 8. All creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation for the sons and daughters of God. Why is creation groaning? Because creation knows and recalls what the earth was like before Satan was cast down into it, before Adam and Eve ever had the sin in the garden, before anything of the fallen nature of mankind in the garden took place, before any of that came, they knew what it was like to live in total peace, total harmony, total unity, total oneness. Everything was at one with God. The lion didn't look at the lamb and see lamb chops. The people didn't look at the animals and see meals for dinner. It was not that kind of world, because they existed together. As a matter of fact, even up until the time of Noah, there was no rain because there was no need for rain. There was a mist that came up out of the earth and watered the earth, because that's how in sync everything was. Everything was in total sync. I want you to understand that even before Adam, Hadam means humanity and mankind. It's not just the gender Adam as a man. Before Adam actually was created on that sixth day, I want us to understand that there was already a cataclysmic experience that had happened before. Because how do you think Satan got in the earth? If Satan was in heaven, if Lucifer was in heaven, how do you think Lucifer got in the earth? Lucifer was cast down. I need y'all to track with me. And I know I'm doing a little bit of something here in the theology, but I hope that you can track with me. I know that you may be acclimated to what you hear in that regular Bible study and Sunday morning preaching that never gets into some of the meat and some of the depth that's beyond what we kind of superficially cover in scripture. So I may be taking you a little deep, but ride with me. How did Satan get in the earth? How did Satan get in the garden to tempt Eve when he did? Because he had already been cast down into the earth. Okay, so let's deal with this. And 1/3. So that 1/3, it said, I saw, and his tail drew 1/3 of the stars with him, meaning all of those other angelic beings that were in cahoots, that tried the insurrection, that tried the January the 6th takeover in heaven. All of them got cast out. So here we have now restoration of the earth coming. And I'm trying to see if you can follow me for the parallel of what's happening. When I tell you this is the age of God, we've moved out of the age of law. We saw the Old Testament or the Old Covenant that brought us the age of the law. But age of law could not bring us into right relationship and standing with God. Then we saw the New Testament or the New Covenant, which was his blood, which which he shed on the cross for the remission of sins. And for this purpose was the Son of God manifested to destroy the works of the devil. How did the devil get here? He was cast down into the earth, as Revelation identifies. And if you go again to the chronological Bible, it's going to put that passage of Revelations right in there with the beginning of the creation, Satan being cast down. So here we come to the point of, yes, now I'm at the point where God is saying, I'm ready to bring earth back to its place of standing as I created it to be. I want to have the creation, the beauty of it. I want to have the expression of God in the earth. I want to have the unity. I want to have the oneness. I want to have the fellowship. I want to have the friendship and the love. I want all of that. So we see here the recreation or restoration of what God created. Now, so Pastor, why are you talking about and the evening and the morning were the first day? Why are we talking about the evening and the morning? Because like so many other things in the Bible that got twisted, and roll with me here, Genesis identifies, even as we look at, for this reason shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to a wife. Now we have the exact opposite, and I perform weddings all the time, and we did the exact opposite. We basically said, okay, now for this reason shall a woman leave her father and mother and take her husband, and they shall be da 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 da. We've completely flipped the script from what it was in Genesis, and I'm not here to take that as a sermon text. That's not where I'm going, but I just want you to see how so many things got flipped in their script from Genesis to the current. Even as we look at the idea, there are very few of the faith traditions that still look at Saturday as the Sabbath, which is the day that God set in motion, because 6 days did I work, on the seventh day I rested, and he put the blessing on the Sabbath and said, very few of our faith traditions actually look at the Sabbath as the first day of the week. You know, we may say, okay, I'm not going to argue that the Sabbath is the seventh day, but we make Sunday our first day of the week versus the Sabbath. So I'm just saying that to explain how so many different things in our theology got shifted. And I can go through all of the doctrinal ideas and concepts, why the first day of the week. That I'm just identifying the difference between Genesis and the difference between the New Testament church. And we saw that even the church really could not get us to the relationship that we need to be with God, because we've seen it in all these centuries and all of these decades, and we still are having such a tremendously terrible hard time trying to teach people how to have relationship with God. Not your rules, not your regulations, not your doctrinal philosophy, not your theology as you believe it to be. I want to find the people that have relationship with God. Okay, so now, as we've seen, the law couldn't do it, as we've seen the church couldn't do it in the organized ecclesia in the New Testament, I'm telling you now we have the Now Testament. What is the Now Testament, spiritual thought leader? That place that we're coming, where we are teaching and allowing and bringing people to a place of understanding. The middle wall of petition, that veil in the temple that existed, where you had to go, you needed a mediator between you and God. You needed somebody that could go, as the old folks would say, go your bond. You needed somebody to stand in your stead. You could not approach God directly. You had to go through someone, as was set up in the Old Testament. The middle wall of petition, the veil in the temple, that's already been torn in half. You have direct access. And the Bible says you can come boldly to God. You can come boldly to the throne of grace and find grace and strength to help in your time of need. Not only find grace and strength to help, you can find relationship with God to actually carry you on through and come into a place where you no longer have to be a servant, but friend. And I heard Jesus when he said that, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. And then let's take it even one step farther and understand, I am the bride. I am his bride. I am his beloved. I am the apple of his eye. I am who he adores. I am his passion, and he is mine. Now we're taking this thing to a whole nother level, because we're talking about relationship. We're not talking about the trappings of something on an outward appearance. Listen, man looks on the outward appearance. The Lord knows the heart. So now that we get into the age of God, the age of now, where God is saying, and what is the element that I really want us to understand about God? God is love. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. I don't care, as 1 Corinthians 13 was already identifying with the New Testament church then. Though I speak with the tongue, and listen, the church had just got started. Though I speak with the tongue of men and angels, 1 Corinthians 13, Paul's writing that letter because it had already started transforming into something that wasn't God. So though I speak with the tongue of men and angels, though I have all prophecies, though I can understand all these mysteries, though I give my body to be burned, though I do all of these things in the name of religion, in the name of somebody's church, in the name of if I do all of that and I don't have love, I still am a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. So we see already, before we even got to the current centuries, already in the early century of the church in the New Testament, they immediately got off. That's why Paul had to come and say, listen, y'all want to get up here and argue and say, listen, I'm of Paul. Another one says, I'm of Apollos. And at the end of the day, Paul said, listen, one sows, the other waters, but God gives the increase. Y'all on the wrong track. This isn't where we're going. But immediately we started wanting to have hierarchy. Immediately we wanted all of these things of man put in place, and we got off. So then what I'm bringing to you is this idea we needed, as we've had the devastation, and I'm not going to go back and reteach the concept of fallen and corrupted psychology, but that's what it was. God did not turn his back on man because man sinned. God wasn't, I can't look on the sin, so I got to go another direction. You all know I've said this several times, but for those that may be new today, and this is a new concept, God still, when man sinned, God did what he did every time. He came to the garden to have conversation. When man sinned, not only did he come to have conversation, he actually had conversation with him. Everything that we see God do before man sinned, God continued to do after man sinned. The only thing that changed was that the psychology or the psyche, the mind of man changed. And now man looked at himself and they said, we're ashamed. Now look at this. At the end of the day, if we look at the reality that they'd been naked the whole time, why are you ashamed? There's nothing for you to be ashamed of, because their psyche, their mind, the psychological, the corruption of the psyche is what we see and evidenced in Genesis when we see the fall of mankind. So let's look at from that point on, and I say it like this: 6 days God created, the 7th day God rested, and the 8th day man made God. We started coming up with all of our ideas. What do I need to do? I need to cover myself because I'm naked and I'm ashamed. I need to do this. I need to do that. I got to do the other. And we started coming up with our ways of trying to get back in relationship with God through ritual. And ritual is not going to get you back to God. I just got to tell you, ritual is not going to get you back to God. The only thing that's going to get you to relationship is that you're going to have to open up yourself and really become who God made you to be and get back to your true created self, which when God made you, he said, listen, I made you and you're fearfully and wonderfully made. I made you and you keep saying I'm unworthy. And he said, but I've made you worthy, but you continue to say I'm unworthy. I've done all of these things for you to have life and life more abundantly, but your psychology and your theology is still warped and you cannot see yourself whole. You cannot see yourself as fearfully and wonderfully made. You cannot see yourself as the apple of my eye. So you keep reverting back to all of this other stuff, even though I told you I've taken it as far as the east and the west is, and I've cast it into the sea of forgetfulness, never to be remembered in the spirit realm anymore, but you keep thinking about it in the natural realm. And that's why the law couldn't work, because every time they got to the Day of Atonement, they had to try to remember all of the sins that they had committed for that whole year and bring that to the Day of Atonement so that they could get it taken away symbolically by the lamb, by the sacrificial lamb. It's not going to work. It never has. It never will. So I want you to get that down in your shando. It's not your works, lest any man should boast. It's all about what God has done in and through and for you, and to come back to that place. So then basically what happened when there was that falling, corrupted psychology of man, and they begin to see themselves ashamed, they begin to see themselves as less than, they begin to operate as less than. And again, Jesus came to show and manifest for us who we are as sons and daughters of God. The power that we saw him do. He said, and greater works than these shall ye do, because I'm going back to my Father. And he's looking and he's saying, I came, I showed, I manifested, I modeled, and you're still doing less than, because you cannot get out of the darkness. So this is the place I want us to understand. When darkness clouded and covered our minds and mankind went into darkness, then he had to come, and that's why Jesus, the light of the world, that's why he had to come as the light, so that he could give us the light. So then when we look at, and I want to go back to the scripture on today and the topic, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and there was evening and there was morning the first day. Now, the point that I was bringing up about so many things that have shifted from Genesis to now is that very concept. It wasn't day and then night. It was night and then day. It wasn't morning and then evening. It was evening and then morning. So spiritual thought leader, what's the significance that it went from evening to morning? Because I'm going through a restoration. I'm going through a recreation. Then understand that I'm coming out of darkness into the marvelous light. So even as we're talking about what's happening, and stay with me, because this is the point that I really want to get to today. This is happening moments. These are the moments that it's happening. But I want you to know that it's happening coming out of darkness into the marvelous light. So as it's happening, you're not going to have morning and then go into the evening. It is the exact reverse, just like it was at Genesis in Genesis 1 and 5. You're going to go from evening first, and then you're going to go to morning. So what are you saying, spiritual thought leader? And what's your point? Because even as it's happening, some of you are experiencing some of the most challenging times that you've ever had to challenge. Some of you are going through, even as COVID has seemingly covered the face of the earth, and there's so much death and there's so much devastation and there's so much trauma that's loose right now. It's the happening that I'm identifying that, yes, the evening and the morning are going to make our first day. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The evening and then the morning is going to make our first day. So this is what I want you to understand, that as we now have the created light, and we have the sun in the heavens, and we have the moon at night to give us light as we journey on, understand that evening time typically starts when the sun goes down. So we have the sundown, but there's still some elements of light that we can still see. And I want you to stay with me. This is how God is raising us up, because right now, some of you, even as we've started the age of God, some of you, as we've started this phase of happening, and you've seen just a glimmer and a glimpse of it in the sundown, and in the sundown, that's the beginning of the new day. As I said, there are very few faith traditions that still look at sundown as the beginning of the day. The Jewish tradition and some other more primitive faith traditions still do evening to morning, evening to morning. We still do it the reverse. So I want you to see, okay, as we look at, we're coming back to the age of God. So we're going to line this thing back up the same way God did it, because he's bringing us out of darkness into the marvelous light. I've got to speak this, because even on this week in my life, I begin to see, I got phone calls about this. I got phone calls about that. Situations that happen here, pop up here, pop up there. Trolls want to come in in and think they're going to sidetrack and derail the move of God. It doesn't matter. Those are tools, because at the end of the day, I'm looking and I'm recognizing the only thing that you're manifesting to me is that I'm going into my evening that may even go into a darker time still. Now, somebody's like, now don't tell me that, because there's no hope in that. Yes, there is. I want us to understand that God is saying, I let you have that light, those few hours of light from the sun going down to start your day so you can get a glimmer and a glimpse of what's to come. Now, this is what I want to tell you. As the sun goes down and you go into the darkness, as the sun goes down, you've already got a glimpse. So, listen, I'm telling you, there's still light out there. What you see in your experience, when we keep saying miracles, signs, and wonders over your life, we keep speaking miracles, signs, wonders over your life. Then another challenge happens. Then we come back, miracles, signs, and wonders over your. Then another challenge happens. I'm trying to get you to understand. It's happening. It's happening. And I want you to recognize that as we are in this transition, there is still a darker place still that is going to come, and it's going to be part of the evening. Now, this is the beauty of the evening. You've already got a glimpse, because listen, there was enough light in my sundown. There was enough light in my sundown that I saw a horizon. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. I saw a horizon, and the horizon spoke to me that if I stay here, there's something that's getting ready to happen, but I just got to hold on through the night. I got to hold on through dark 30. I got to hold on through the test. I got to hold on through the challenge, because this is about to be my first day. My first day starts with the sun going down. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. Come on here. My day starts with what seems like the sun going down. And does that mark my new day? Yes, it does. It marks your new day because something else is getting ready to happen. Something's getting ready to happen. Something's getting ready to happen. And yes, it gets better. Listen, I want you to understand that this is what I want to tell you. Don't be idle. Don't sit down on your hands. Don't go to sleep. Listen, there are so many hours that you sleep in the nighttime, but you still have time in the evening. And this is what I want to encourage you today. I need you to write the vision and make it plain. When the sun started going down, that identified that you were getting ready to start your new day. When the day looked like, yes, the sun is going, it starts with trouble and ends with victory. When the sun started going down on your new day, you got enough a glimpse of the horizon to know that tomorrow is coming. You got enough of the horizon to know that better days. Listen, and it's happening. I was talking to Royal Confessions and I said, listen, the best is yet to come. She said, girl, stop your mouth from saying that. The best isn't yet to come. The best is here. The new day starts when the sun goes down. Do you hear me? The new day starts before I get into the darkest hours. The new day starts as soon as the process begins to show me that horizon and say, it's the dawning of a new day, but the sun is going down here, but I'm coming up over there. It's the new day, not from morning to evening, but I'm going from evening to morning. I need you to get that down in your shondo. I'm going from the evening to the morning if I want to have a first day. I'm going from the evening to the morning if I want to have a second day. I'm going from the evening to the morning if I want to have a third day. Every day that we see in Genesis is not morning to the evening, but every day we see in Genesis is evening to the morning. And what is Genesis? It's the beginning. It's a new beginning. If I really want to get into the place of Genesis and a new start and a new beginning, it's going to follow that same pattern from evening to the morning. Am I making sense to you? It's going to go from evening to the morning. And so the Lord would speak to your spirit and say, listen, I need you to have clarity about the age of God. I need you to have clarity about the spirit and how the spirit moves. The spirit is not in all of these places that we've changed and we've flipped the script. Follow the pattern and understand if you're going to talk Genesis, if you're going to talk a new thing, if you're going to walk a new thing, if you're going to be a new thing, if you're going to preach a new thing, if you're going to manifest a new thing, that new thing is still going to come with the pattern that I put out in the beginning. I'm going to take you from your evening, and your evening is going to take you to your morning. Now, while you're in dark 30, don't just sit there and do nothing. I need you to write the vision. I need you to make the vision plain. I need you to get it clear in your mind. I need you to get the communion with me so I can whisper in your ear exactly what I want you to do. I need you to get with me so I can whisper in your ear in dark 30, because you got to see it before you can see it. You got to see it before you can see it. You got to understand it before you see the daylight. You got to be able to understand it in your spirit before the sun comes back up again. You got to be able to get that faith that cannot be conquered. You got to get that faith that is steadfast. You got to get that faith that's unmovable. You got to get that faith that's always abounding in the work of God. You got to see it before you can see it. You got to get that faith that cannot be quenched, but that can quench every fiery dart of the devil. Everybody that wants to say, no, it's not going to happen. Everybody that wants to believe, no, it's not going to happen. Everybody that wants to speak against and speak down, even your own mind, even your own flesh, even your own emotions, you got to get all of that under subjection. You got to get all of that in the midnight hour and make sure the vision is clear. Make sure the vision is plain. And I promise you, and I preached this message years and years and years ago. Why are you going to wait until daylight? Listen. A new day starts. We got the sun going down, the evening and the morning. And then we look at 12:01. 12:01 is a brand new day. And it's still dark at 12:01. There's still no light at 12:01 unless you're in Alaska or some other places by the equator. But at 12:01 in the darkest hour, I got a new day. And so I need you to get down in your shando. It's not something that is the best is yet to come. The best is here. But you're like, but spiritual thought leader, all of this that I see that's challenging me, the best, and this is what Royal Confession said. She said, listen, stop saying yet to come. Just say and stop on. The best is. Hey, the best is. The best is. Because it's a new day. I'm in my evening and morning. I'm in that time where I understand, and I've seen her. It just is, Shelly. It just is. The best is. It ain't yet to come. The best is. Because I need you to get this clearly planted down and concreted down in your spirit and in your shando that it's already a new day, you guys. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, let me take that back. It does matter that all of these other things are happening, because all of those things are your evening. And when your evening starts, your evening is not what's going to end it. Your evening is your beginning. Your evening is your beginning. Understand that with clarity, beloved. Your evening is your beginning of the day, not the end of it. And so as you comprehend, I know that I'm in my new day. I know that it's happening. I know that the best is. And this is where you're going to have the ability to be steadfast, unmovable. And I'm going to tell you what, I got a call. Life begins with pain. Come on here, one reason. Life begins with pain. I want us to understand, even as we come into this season, I had a situation and I got a phone call. I was late getting to the Rebel stream because I got a phone call, an urgent call. And all while the individual was talking, you know what? My spirit was not moved. My spirit was not fazed. Even in the excitement and the worry and the concern that was on the other end of the telephone. And I understand it. I get it. Because by any other means, you would think we should have been just losing our mind and falling apart and going to pieces. But I'm going to tell you what, because I knew, I knew that my evening and my morning were the first day. I know this. So as I listened to the news and as I listened to the report and as I listened to what was being said, nothing moved inside of me. Do you hear me? Nothing was moved any differently than what I already knew. Nothing moved from what I knew already was. Because I understood, listen, this is just part of my evening. This is just part of the evening. Listen, this is not the end. This is not where we're getting ready to end up. I know that the morning, the morning, oh my goodness, the morning, I'm not moved. I'm not shaken. I'm not disturbed. And even as I'm saying this right now, I'm not moved. I'm not shaken and I'm not disturbed because I know that the morning is coming and this is nothing more than part of the evening process. Come on and say process. This is nothing more than the evening process. If you are not ready and if you're unprepared and the Bible said a double-minded man, a double-minded woman, unstable in all their ways. I need you to get some stability in the age of God. I need you to be sure and I need you to be very sure and I need you to be able to stand, having done all to stand therefore. I know it. It's a process. It's nothing more than a process. I need you to stand. Stand. Having your loins girt, I need you to stand in the process and understand, baby, all we talking about here is nothing more than the evening and the morning. But that's my first day. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And you'll see this process because every round is going to go higher and higher. That's the first day. We're in our first day. Then we're going to move on to our second day. Then we're going to move on to our third day. And then we're going to fourth, fifth, sixth, seven being that number of completion. And then that eighth day is going to allow me to start the process over again. Am I talking to anybody? Do not be deceived and do not be confused about the evening and the morning. That's God's order of the first day. And so as we come into that, I want you to sit down and begin to, while you're in the evening time. Yes, while you're in the evening time, I want you to make ready for the morning. So I'm like, listen. And then there's going to be a time when you're just going to make ready and go to bed. Lay down and sleep. I will both lay me down and sleep, for thou, O Lord, causes me to lie down in safety. After you have allowed your communion with God to reveal what it is that your day consists of. In all my ways, I'm acknowledging him. He's directing my path. When he lets you know what your day consists of, and you've written the vision and make it. I told y'all the other week, I want some of y'all to go ahead and do the vision board. Get your vision board. Write the vision, make it plain. Get your vision board. What is your vision? Are you clear on your vision? Are you just haphazardly living day by day, moment by moment? Write the vision. You got all this time on your hands. Write the vision. Make it plain. What's your vision for today? What's your vision for this day? What's the vision for your evening and your morning? And the beautiful thing about the evening, when the sun goes down, it gives you plenty of time at rest to just write the vision. It gives you plenty of time to just kick back and relax, write the vision. It gives you plenty of time, and then you can sleep on it. Am I talking to anybody? You can meditate on it. You can rest peacefully in it. You can know without a shadow of a doubt it shall come to pass. You can know miracles, signs, and wonders without any question, unequivocally. It's going to happen. 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 And then when the morning comes, morning manifestation, morning manifestation, morning manifestation. When the light, shine a light on it, shine a light on it, shine a light on it. In the morning, manifest. Manifest, 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 manifest what God put in the evening in your spirit, and you're clear. You're clear. You understand. You know. There's no question. There was no static in the line. I'm not confused. I'm not deluded. I'm not out here just wandering around willy-nilly. I heard the sound, the sound, the sound, the sound, and then manifest. After you get the sound, manifest. Stacy had a sound that she heard. She had a shine a light on it. That's what I'm talking about. The sound. When she heard the sound and she got the vision and she began to share it with me, how to be a blessing to the people and what the Lord began to show her. The sound brought about the vision, and she began to write the vision and make it plain and sent it to me and said, I hope this makes sense and I hope you can follow what I'm saying. The sound triggered that. And then once it was written down and once it was shared and once it was clearly understood, now the time, shine a light on it, manifest. Shine a light on it, manifest. Manifest. And I'm telling you, as we do this day by day, as we do this daily, and it's not just a matter of a 24-hour window, but there are seasons that represent a day. There are spans in your life that represent a day. A season can be a day, not just a literal 24 hours. But I'm telling you, as we do this as the lions that God has called us to be, as we do this as the lions that God has called in this hour, as we do this as the lions begin to roar, you will see productivity off the charts. We've been sitting back and saying, man, look like we ain't doing nothing. Look like nothing's happening. Looking like this. Da, da, da. Listen, and we've seen decades upon decades and centuries of church. We've seen centuries of law. We've seen centuries of all of this. But at the end of the day, very little productivity. Very little is produced. But I'm telling you, we're getting ready to produce now, y'all. We're getting ready to produce. We're about to be fruitful and multiply. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? We're about to produce and reproduce after our kind. I'm not worried about sheep. I'm not worried about sheep. God didn't call me to wake up any more sheep. It's enough preachers out there waking up sheep. God called me to wake up lions, and we are lions, and you're going to hear us roar. And how shall we roar? We will come in the evening and the morning, and the evening when I see the new horizon and God begins to speak and utter and give me what it is he wants me to know. And I begin to write the vision and make it plain. And then I lay down and I rest and I meditate on that thing and sleep on it. And when I get up in the morning, shine a light on it. Shine a light on it. Shine a light on it. And watch it manifest. Am I talking to anybody here today? The evening and the morning. Because it's time to restore the earth. All creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons and daughters of God. They're waiting on us, y'all. They're waiting on us. Creation is groaning, waiting on us. It's waiting on us. It's waiting on you, Reason. Shine a light on it. 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 Come on, you are the light. Arise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Manifest. 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 And that's my word for today. I see I've gone a little bit over, but I hope that you can take this, meditate on it, nibble on it if it was too much, eat a little bit, come back for seconds, eat a little bit more, come back, get a little, then eat a little more, eat a little bit more. Whatever your spirit can contain and hold, let that be your guide. God just has me. I'm just a messenger. How, when, where you use this word, that's between you and God. God will take this word and do whatever God wants to do with this word in you. Come on, the vision. Come on, Jay Betts. I see you. I see you. I see you. Oh my God, that's my baby. Listen, shine a light on it. Shine a light on it, Jay. Shine a light on it. Because I'm telling you, manifest. And so, beloved, be it clear in your mind. Don't get confused because we in our day and time have transformed morning and evening for a day. I want you to understand evening to morning for a day. One more time. Don't get confused with expectations of morning to evening for a day. I want you to be clear. Every Genesis takes you from the evening to the morning for your new day. And it shall come to pass. It shall. Write the vision and make it plain. And the Bible says it shall speak. It shall speak. I love you all. I hope that this was able to bless you. Again, I know at the beginning it got into some areas of theology that may be off your radar, and that's okay. If that wasn't for you, that's fine. That's good. Get this part though. The evening and the morning, that's your first day. Put in that work. Come on here. One reason. Put in that work. It's not going to just fall down out of the sky and just boom, 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 boom. No, baby. Put in the work. It's worth it. You're worth it. It's really an investment into you and who God saw you to be, who God wanted you to be, who God created you to be. It's an investment in bringing that person forth, releasing that person into the universe. Because we told you last week, you are awesome and flawed. You're awesome even with your flaws. You're awesome and flawed. So listen, beloved, don't get it twisted. He's not looking for your perfection. He's looking for your availability and your genuine heart that truly loves God and says to God, I am the gift. What you put in me, what you deposited in me, your intent and design for my life, that what's in me, that's my gift that I'm going to give it back to you by being the fullest me I can be in totality. What you had in mind, God, when you thought of me, when you designed me, when you put me on this earth, and this word is not going to return back to you void. It will accomplish that you sent it forth to do. I'm talking about myself, talking about my life, talking about who I am. It's not going to return into you void. It's going to accomplish what you sent it for to do. And I'm going to be the totality and the fullness of what you created me to be, because I am the gift. I am the gift. And all creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of me. And my brothers and my sisters, I love y'all. I love you with the love of God. I hope that this has blessed you. You are just so precious to me. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, everybody that came in today. Y'all take this word with you. Evening and morning. Evening and morning. Flip that thing around. Flip it around. Don't do it the man-made way, morning to evening. Flip that thing around according to the flow of the Spirit. Evening to morning. I love you guys. Peace for your journey. Those of you that are in Twitch, hold on and we're going to raid somebody. The moderator's going to raid. Well, I don't know. Since we had all the trolls, we're not going to raid because I don't want to put that. I don't want to carry any of that over to somebody else's channel. So we will not raid today. We're not going to raid today because I don't want to carry any of those trolls over to anybody else's channel. And I thank God for the trolls. I thank God for the trolls. Oh, Tall Pumps, I love you. I love you, Tall Pumps. Thank you and God bless you. Okay, so we're not going to raid because we're not going to take the chance of infecting anybody else's channel with some trolls. But I love you with the love of God. You guys go in peace. I will be back tonight with my friends at 6 o'clock for some good, engaging, funny, maybe sometime tense conversation. But we'll be back tonight at 6 o'clock for Yes, You With Friends. Bring your coffee cups for that. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. I love you so much. Go in peace, and blessings upon blessings be on you. Praise God.